complete your homework on self-fertilizing shrubs, and then you can come in.
Wingardium Leviosa! Wingardium Leviosa!
That's terrific! How pretty.
Yeah, this place needed airing out.
Complete your essay and I will let you have free range of the greenhouses. Are you well?
There's Neville. I bet he's got something on self-fertilising shrubs.
Hi, Neville. Do you know anything about self-fertilising shrubs?
Of course. I've got a book, Flesh-Eating Trees of the World, which has got some really good pictures of them. It's on my bedside table in the boys' dormitory if you want to borrow it.
Thanks. Flesh-eating trees of the world. This is what we need for Professor Sprout's essay. Hermione, could you help me with the opening paragraph?
Oh, all right then. And so therefore... Right. Let's take these essays back to Professor Sprout.
Professor Sprout, we've brought you our essays on self-fertilising shrubs.
Excellent work. Superb diagrams as well. 10 points to Gryffindor. Well, if you have time to spend on your herbology, as owl students, you're welcome to use the greenhouses.
Please keep your mind on one thing at a time. One essay researching counter charms is what I require from you.
We'd better find that book you mentioned, Hermione.
How are you faring?
There, what's she reading?
Excuse me, is that Achievements in Charming you're reading? Can I have a quick look? Yes, of course. Well, that was obvious.
Yeah, completely obvious.
All we've got to do now is write the essay.
Oh, for goodness sake. You'll have to do your own essays sometime. And so therefore, and in conclusion... Right, let's take these essays back to Professor Flitwick.
Another day's education.
Professor Flitwick, we've brought you the homework you asked for.
Excellent, Miss Granger, excellent! I'm sure these will do you all credit.
Ah, Potter. After your last feeble attempt at potion making, I expect you to write 12 inches of parchment on the properties of Moonstone. No excuses.
But I've already got lots of homework.
And Potter, anything less than acceptable, and you will suffer my displeasure.
Let's check in the library.
Have an excellent day today.
This is the book we need. Oh look, Moonstone is sometimes known as the Wishing Stone.
Hermione?
Oh no, you have to write this essay. But I suppose I could correct it for you. So therefore, and in conclusion... Right, let's take these essays back to Professor Snape.
Professor Snape, I brought you my essay on moonstones.
Indeed. Let us see if you can differentiate between monkshood and moonstone, shall we? I suppose this is acceptable. Follow me. But I must remind you, Potter, you will not be able to rely upon Miss Granger when you take your owl.
Potter, Weasley, Miss Granger, I have a little task for you. By you, I mean Gryffindor's 2 new prefects.
Yes, Professor?
I am standing here in expectation of a group of first-year boys arriving for detention. However, by all reports, they are hiding in the divination tower instead. Please tell them to come here immediately.
Of course, Professor McGonagall. Told us those first years were somewhere around here.
You're Harry Potter.
Did you really fight He Who Must Not Be Named?
And some big snake thing in the second year.
And win the Tri-Wizard Tournament?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Professor McGonagall told Harry here to find some snotty-nosed first years who are cheeky enough not to turn up to her detention. She said if you didn't go, then Harry could feed you all to the dragon that lives in the kitchens.
There's not really a dragon in the kitchens, is there?
Want to find out? Then hop it.
I don't remember making things up to terrify first years being in our talk on how to be prefects.
Yeah, well, the midgets need to learn a little respect.
Potter, Weasley, Miss Granger, what's this I hear about dragons in the kitchens? Please don't tell first years things like that. Someone's bound to be silly enough to believe you and go looking for them. However, 10 points to Gryffindor for ingenuity.
Hi, Luna. What are you doing here?
Well, I've lost most of my possessions. People take them and hide them, you know.
How come people hide your stuff?
I think they think I'm a bit odd, you know. Some people call me Loony Lovegood, actually.
That's no reason for them to take your things. If I find any of your things, I'll let you know. This must be Luna's. I think this is Luna's. Now we... This must be Luna's. This must be Luna's. This is Luna's.
Potter thinks it's so great.
I've got everything back now. Have a nice holiday, Harry.
Yeah. Yeah, you too.
Every time you discover things, my file gets heavier. You don't know how lucky you are that portraits can't jinx. Well, really. Students, students, students.
was a massive fan of the books, and I'd read, I think, the first and the second. And yeah, and then Newsround were advertising kids to send in like application forms and that. And my mum videoed me doing this. I made this like rap song of how much I wanted to be in the film. And are you a talking gargoyle?
Do you normally talk to ones that can't speak?
I don't normally talk to gargoyles.
Or should imagine many gargoyles are grateful for that.
Ginny was obviously the youngest and the only girl, so that's quite a lot of pressure. But I think it's quite fun at the same time, because I can kind of, as a character, she can kind of get away with things.
Well done, Ginny.
Blowing things up comes naturally when you've grown up with Fred and George.
Because I'm not doing school now, we've got more time to play on the game, so it's good.
We do quite like the action adventure, like the Harry Potter game.
Completely exceeded all of my expectations of quite what a video game could achieve in terms of realness.
I think a lot of people can relate to the characters, because there's Hermione, who's the really brainy one who always kind of thinks one step ahead, and Harry's obviously the brave but quite quiet at the same time. But then Ron's kind of the jokingly one.
Kids can sort of relate to the whole school side of it, because I mean they have lessons, they have exams and stuff, so they can sort of relate to that side. But they've also got the whole sort of magic thing with giants and all these sort of amazing sort of creatures.
A lot of films, especially and in games, it's always the adult who comes through, and they're always the big hero. Whereas in Harry Potter, it sort of shows, especially in this one, in the Order of the Phoenix, how the adults have got it wrong. Like Umbridge isn't making sense all the time, and Harry and everyone know that.
Accio Brew!
One of the other important things for us on this game was also to bring our characters to life and to bring them a lot closer to the film and to the actors that people know.
This time we really, really want people to feel like they're looking at the film characters in the game. And so we've gone through with the actors and done head scans of all the actors to incorporate them into the game.
What they do with the computers and kind of how they make our faces, just as if they were us.
It was weird, when we first saw them. It's I don't know, it's a thing for I think every lad to have their face on a game, and to be in it is fantastic. And it looks really lifelike.
We wanted the students to sound like the people you hear in the film, so where better to go than the actual actors themselves? And as you walk around the castle, hearing Fred and George calling out to you, and it being James and Oliver Phelps.
Try this little spell, and one from me too. Incendio!
Loco Mortimort!
Don't kill Cedric, boo-hoo! Oh, I think Potter's gonna cry.
Push off, Potter. Got your bed booked in the hospital wing.
Loser! There was a lot of giggles, and it was very hard to keep a straight face.
Protego Maxima! Protego Maxima!
You've got to say it 3 times, and one of those 3 will do it. Also, so when you play the game, every time you hear me saying a spell or doing something, it's slightly different. It's not always the same.
Well, there are never enough of us, but the ones we've got are really good. You've met Kingsley Shacklebolt. He's great. And don't worry, we're not all as mad as Mad Eye.
Working with the cast from the film was absolutely a great opportunity for me. I thought it was great fun. I particularly like working with Rupert Grint, because he's probably my favourite character in the film, Ron, because he's just got great script and he delivers his lines so well.
You should write a book, translating mad things girls do so boys can understand them. It's quite scary because it's so real. It is amazing, and you can sort of see how they sort of progress from like the first one. It was just some random ginger person, and this time it's like proper weird. It's really good though.
You Slytherins think you're so good. Let's hope this makes Umbridge's name mud at the Ministry.
Because a while ago I saw they had the face of me, but they've kind of developed it more. They didn't have the hair and everything. And it was kind of weird because it does look kind of weirdly like you. And I was looking at everyone else's, and it's just weird how it's like them, but it isn't them.
So we're just trying to make people feel that the characters that they're moving around the game are actually the characters that they see when they watch the film.
This is like being in one of Bin's History of Magic lessons.
Accio! Honestly, Harry, you should take more care of books.
You'd better get upstairs. You know what Hermione's like if you're late.
You think you're special just because you're answering the ministry.
Just like your father, jumping feet first into trouble.
You're for it now, Potter!
So I initially auditioned for Harry and Ron, just because obviously they were the main parts at the time. And eventually went for Draco, and succeeded in getting it.
Potter took his time getting here. What are you going to do without your pet teacher, Potter?
I do enjoy playing the baddie. He's just a bit more, well, fun, really, to put it in a nutshell.
What do you want, Malfoy?
Professor Snape wants to see you in his office. He says it's time for your remedial potions lesson.
You think you're so good.
Useless loser!
Take this, Potter. We'll show you. Oh, look. They've come to save their little friend.
Come on then, Potter. What are you going to do?
Dan, in a sense, is obviously he's not Harry Potter, but in a sense he's something like him, and Rupert's something like Ron, and Emma's something like Hermione. It's nice for me to be the complete opposite of what I hope to be. I like to think I portray myself as a rather gentle young lad.
You're gonna lose, mudblood lovers.
There's something nice about hating the villain. I suppose the more hate I would get from a child, as in the more you're evil, the better I've done my job.
The music this year is even more exciting than normal because we've managed to license the Hedwig's theme from the film, which everybody associates as being the music to Harry Potter. The other really cool thing is the fact that we record the music with a real orchestra. Audio can actually bring the fiction to life. So quite often we don't need to have the visuals to actually bring extra elements of the fiction to the game. Is when you go down to the dungeons where Slytherin hang out, even though you might not see howlers go off, you can hear them in the distance. One of the things we're trying to do this year is actually get close to the movie, and obviously one of the key things to do would be to actually use the movie cast. So we've tried to get in as many of the kids as possible, and we've actually got 22 characters from the film actually voicing their own parts in this game. Two of the major ones include Rupert Grint, who plays Ron, and Ralph Fiennes, who plays Lord Voldemort.
This book's really useful. You're gonna make us take it back, Hermione?
That little snot rag is trying to jinx us. Then let's show him how it's really done.
Shh. Meeting's finished. Quick, get to bed before Mum catches us.
Hope our side's got it. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, the boy who stopped the Dark Lord. Creature wonders how he did it.
Bet you wouldn't mind hiding that scar sometimes, eh? You'll have to learn the hard way, I'm afraid. Metamorph magi are really rare. They're born, not made.
Oh, you're going to fight us, are you?
You should run off!
I will kill you now, old man.
I'd read the first 4 books before I went for my first audition for the film.
I've been a fan before I got the part. Still am now.
I was just content with going for the audition and just say, yeah, I went for an audition for that.
Locomotor Mortis!
Accio! Protego Maxima!
Neville's most important quality is his courage.
Don't you call me an idiot!
And we definitely see it in Order of the Phoenix, the way he doesn't care what danger he's going into. Even though he's the most terrified he's ever been, he'll still do it because he knows it's the right thing to do.
Did you know Ginny Weasley and Michael Corner were going out? I don't think it will last though. Do you?
Being Harry's love interest was a lot of fun.
Don't go, Harry! I want to talk to you.
There probably are a lot of envious girls out there because, you know, Daniel is a very good-looking guy.
There's one thing that Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix really brings forward is just how difficult it is being a kid that age at school. All the problems, as well as not just like the big bad guys that are trying to come and kill you, but all just school life.
They are just At the end of the day, ordinary kids, they play, they fight.
Children being the main characters and the heroes just makes it a lot more fun as well at the same time. People can think, yeah, I'm there with them. I'm only young, but I can do all this stuff.
When we went to create Hogwarts for Order of the Phoenix this year, we really took ourselves back to basics. We looked at what we'd built in the other games, looked at how that sort of fitted, how that didn't.
When we began, we took the blueprints of Hogwarts, we took the notes we had from Joanne Rowling, and we took all the notes we'd taken from the books, and we tried to sort of bring all those together to understand how Hogwarts fitted together.
It's amazing, there's so much detail that goes into all the games, and because they had like hundreds of computers, it's quite like the art department in the studios for Harry Potter, and all the concept drawings and how much detail they have to go behind, like before it, to get to the actual finishing product.
So with the sound effects, we're really able to bring Hogwarts to life. We've put in fun bits and pieces, so as you're walking down the grand staircase, you'll hear the portrait speaking to you.
You must venture out into the castle and find it, Mr. Potter.
The game looks amazing, but the building particularly, it's incredible.
The likeness of everything is so accurate to what it is actually like for me on the set.
The Gryffindor common room is just very detailed, and it just looks exactly like the actual Gryffindor common room in the films, with the big tapestries up and all the portraits and the tiniest little details like the stack of books on the table.
It was really funny watching it because I sort of recognised bits. I was like, oh, I wrote that. There's kind of Dumbledore's army and it's got my personal handwriting on it, and the sets are exactly what the sets are like in the film, and Hogwarts is exactly represented in the films, which you've never really had a sense of before.
But we had the challenge that we wanted a person to be able to walk from one end of it, from the boathouse, for instance, all the way through to the owlery without the game ever stopping. And it's a great way to see it, to walk all the way through those corridors, up the stairs, through the classrooms. It's a fantastic way to see the world of Harry Potter realised.
Every time you discover things, my file gets heavier. You don't know how lucky you are that portraits can't jinx.